How y'all do? It's you guys, the one and only Ronald E. Smith. And I welcome back to y'all for another episode of Get Real. And today my guest is content creator, movie critic, the one and only Ryan O'Toole. He has been a film lover ever since he saw the Captain America Winter Soldier film, but his story to what how he's gotten today is a beautiful tale. Not only does he tell you how he did allow his insecurities to take him and stop him from achieving his dreams, but also too the love that he has for his brother and what his career fully means to him. You want to know more? Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Because I promise, it's going to be a good time.
Quarantine can make all of us go crazy, but the best thing to do is to stick with each other and make the best out of these situations. And what better way for me to get real with another guest? Today, my guest, not only a content creator, film reviewer, and when you get him to talk about these movies, I guarantee you he'll talk to you until you're blue in the face. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to the one and only Mr. Ryan O'Toole. How are you doing?
I'm great, man. I'm just happy we're finally doing this. This was like months and years. It kind of felt like years of anticipation. We've
Like
had
a lifetime.
a lifetime. Yeah, connection issues, scheduling issues. Sometimes I was sick, but now God has finally brought us here today. We could finally have this interview. I'm super excited, man. Let's do this.
Like he said, it's been a long time coming for this. You know, it's been a long road, but we're finally here. And now it's time for us to get it done. It's time for us to get real. Are you ready, Ryan?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to get real, man.
I've been watching your channel for a while, and I remember how this whole road began for you. You know, it's been interesting for you. You know, for you, for people who don't know you, how did this love for film start from?
Well, that's a great question, Ronald. My love for film has always been around ever since I was a kid. I loved Pixar pretty much all my childhood, and then I started to get into Marvel, and I just loved a lot of like kid stuff, mostly growing up. But as I've kind of matured throughout the years, I grew up into middle school, still loving movies, but I kind of found a new passion for music. I started out as a musician playing trombone in middle school, and I did that. And then transition into high school, I went to percussion. So all through high school, I was really passionate for music mostly. And then I graduated high school in 2014, and I had a set goal that I wanted to be a professional percussionist. I wanted to be a part of all state bands, or pretty much in jazz bands as well. I did jazz band in high school. So that seemed like it was my career path. But then something changed that year in 2014. I saw Captain America, the Winter Soldier in theaters, and that was like a movie I was highly looking forward to because I saw the first Captain America in theaters and I just was in love with it. And then I found out a sequel was coming out for it. And then I went to go see it opening night with my stepdad in theaters. And I just walked out blown away by that movie. Just everything about it was so great. It was for sure my favorite Marvel film. But then something sparked inside of me that I had a love for films. And then I went to the movie theaters pretty much every week, seeing every single movie pretty much that came out. And I just fell in love with the passion of film. And that's when I started watching, Jeremy Jahns, Chris Stuckman, all these movie reviewers. And I was like, this is fun. I want to try to do this. So then the year after that, I started doing my first Facebook movie reviews. That's where I started out before YouTube, doing Facebook movie reviews, did that. And then I was like, this is fun. But then I was like, there's YouTube. I want to try YouTube. And so in January 2016, that's when I started my YouTube channel. And that's how I came to be. I just had this new love for movies.
Okay. Now, just to backtrack a bit, you said that in that timeline, from 2014 2015, 2016, your love from 2014 was music, right? But then you found a new love for film, mostly after you saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Then you went to Facebook in 2015, and then that's when you began moving over to YouTube in 2016.
That's right. Yes.
But in that transition of really, let's get more into that. Like, why did you want to fully do that? Because I mean, look, as we grow up, our ideals change, our goals change, and that's normal. But for you, why did those things make you want to switch your dreams?
So I always loved music as well, and playing in band. My brother also plays in band, Cody, and so we were just really passionate with the love for music, and it was great. I always loved playing in band. It's pretty much my favorite subject in high school. But then once movies started coming along, I grew a same passion with that as well. I could see myself doing this for the rest of my life. But then the life thing for music just wasn't there for me really anymore. It was definitely fun to do, but when I started talking about movies, I turned on that video camera and just expressed my feelings for those movies. I just felt alive. Like I just felt like I was really loving doing this, and I could see myself doing this in the future. And music, I was having fun too, but I just didn't have that feeling like I had when I was just talking about film. So that's where my transition really came to be, was in that time frame, like you mentioned.
And as you started yourself going through that transition now in 2015, you said you started yourself on Facebook. And
yes.
I'm guessing for you that was more of you just getting your feet wet just to see how you can get yourself going for it, right? And
yes,
I can see, there's also going to be those awkward stages. Do you remember those awkward stages for yourself, just trying to get yourself comfortable in front of everything?
Absolutely. I had a terrible condition I've had a really big problem growing up with eye contact, and when I started doing those reviews, I was not looking at the camera most of the time, getting really nervous, just like you expect when you start to do YouTube. You get nervous being in front of a camera, and I just did it for fun. I wasn't taking it seriously, and I was just doing them, but I had a fun time doing them, even though they were really bad reviews. It was just fun to do. But I learned throughout this transition, the more I kept doing this, my eye contact got so much better, my voice got so much better, my confidence got so much better just from doing YouTube and meeting other people. I just got so much better, learned so much more about these things along the way. And it's crazy to believe from where I started to where I am now. I never thought for a second I would be at where I'm at in terms of me looking at the camera, me talking confidently with people, and just not having any confidence. I never thought that at the start.
Did you ever doubt yourself during that time? Like when you began switching to YouTube for yourself, did you ever before that, like, say, I don't know if I want to do this because I don't know if people will actually subscribe to my channel and care about what I say?
At the start, I had those feelings before. I definitely had doubts of people not really liking my presentation, not liking what I have to say, not liking how I look. Because, yeah, we've had those feelings before, like with bullying. If you've been bullied, you know how people treat you sometimes because of your voice or how you look. I do have those feelings sometimes, but just something inside me believed in myself doing it. And when I did believe in myself, I was great. I kept learning, and my confidence just grew and got so much better within those years. I definitely had confidence issues growing up.
And if you don't mind me touching on that, for yourself growing up, you said confidence issues, that you struggle with that. I mean, all of us, I know I have. It took me a long time for me to even believe to hear my own voice talking as I'm talking to you right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when you went through it yourself. A lot of people dealt with the same thing. But as for you, Ryan, can you explain more about that, about how you had to build yourself to gain the confidence to do what you're doing now?
Yeah, so growing up, I really struggled with being quiet, and that wasn't the case when I was younger. I was really hyper with my family, and I was always talking a lot, not listening to my parents. But as I grew up, I just had this very shyness to myself. I was very shy as a kid, very quiet around people. And the same thing with middle school and high school. I was really quiet, not really talkative. But something changed when I started talking about movies and music. Like whenever I do talk about those things, my things just kept going. I talked so much with other people and found it really difficult finding people who had that love for movies like I did. But whenever I'm around certain groups of people, yeah, my conversation was very awkward at times, but it definitely got better throughout the years as I've matured.
Did anybody or any group of people try to, continue to push you down for your love for film?
I could definitely see the spark wasn't there whenever I brought it up in conversation. Because, yeah, people usually talk about movies from there and there in my childhood. But really, I do have a family that loves talking movies with me for sure now. And growing up, my mother loves movies as well. We watch movies together all the time. And my brother as well loves more Pixar than other, studios. But it's just great to talk with people as well for movies and real life as well. It's something I have gotten better with, as I said, growing up. But usually there were those kinds of people that may have been, I'm not that crazy about movies. Whatever.
I'm talking with Ryan O'Toole. With that, you said trial and error as you wanted to become a film critic. Now, and when I say that film critic, some people like to call themselves a film reviewer or a film critic. How would you describe yourself on what you've been doing for yourself?
That's always a great question, I think, to myself as well. Do I talk about movies just to criticize them, or do I just love talking about movies in general? People usually just describe a film critic as someone that's really over criticizing movies now today, but deep down inside, we are critics technically, but we're just talking about something we all love together, which is movies. So I'm definitely someone who loves reviewing and just talking about films in general, things I loved about the film and things I did not like about the film, because that's our job as critics, right? We can't just be throwing out, A pluses left to right or F's left to right. There's got to be a good balance. And usually I always just love the art form of film. And I just try to balance the critic and reviewer thing, not just as one thing. I'm a person who loves movies, loves watching them, and loves analyzing them.
There are a group of people who would sometimes call some film critics cinephiles, as they can watch a movie, but they go too deep with it. And, for some people, they can't turn it off. Like when they watch a movie, they can't help but they'll look through a different lens than an average person would. So would you consider yourself a cinephile, or would you say that when you watch a movie, you really just like to dig deep on what is going from scene?
That's a great question, Ronald. Usually from time to time, I'm a person that loves watching a film from start to finish and just finding the things along the way throughout the film. I just find it in my head. But sometimes if it's like a movie that's really bad but funny, but usually a film I've seen multiple times, then usually I'll nitpick the movie just for jokes and all that. But usually whenever I do watch movies from time to time, usually I'm a person that watches a film, watches the first act, the second act, and the third act, and finds little pieces throughout the film that maybe I missed on first viewing. I'll revisit it and then find more things that I missed. So I'm usually a guy that watches movies and finds things along the film duration.
Now, how do you begin the process of reviewing the movie? Do you write down a notepad? Do you stop the movie and run to your computer to write on little notes? What is Ryan's order on how he starts his reviews?
I'm sure everybody has that question whenever they watch my videos. And starting out, I do have really good memory. That's always been a thing people have said, that Ryan, you have really good memory. You're able to memorize things really well. But that was not the case when I was first starting out doing YouTube, Ronald. I pretty much wrote everything down. When I first turned on that camera, the nervousness completely cracked up to 1,000. I had to have notes on with me just so I can remember everything. So that was what I did starting out. And usually every YouTuber does research. I obviously do research, obviously, before I start a review, and make sure I jot that down, make sure I don't forget anything, get, information right. And so that was pretty much me the first half of YouTube. But then the more comfortable I got being in front of the camera, I just let my voice do the talking and didn't really, yeah, I still do research, obviously, but I just let my voice, let me do the talking, not outlets and stuff like that. And so I've just been able to grow and to be able to do my reviews perfectly just me. Like, I'm not reading from a script or anything. I know people usually do read from scripts, and that's awesome, but I've just been able to just let me do the talking, and so far it's gone really well for me. And I've got a lot of compliments from people saying, you do a really good job laying your reviews out. You do such a great job of diving into the film, positives, negatives, and all that. You do that really well. And that was obviously one of my biggest flaws starting out. I wasn't diving in or explaining things about the film properly, my issues with the film properly, my positives. And that was something I got better at as I kept doing it.
And it shows in your work, because when I look back at some of your older videos, I've seen the growth from you from when you first started, especially to the content style, from the beginning of when you started from 2016 till now. You could see the transformation from yourself. And when you can sit back and look at yourself, because you got over 2,000 subscribers, no matter what, that's a lot. There's barely a lot of people who would wish to have that right now. So you got to pat yourself on the back and tell yourself you've done a good job. You have a voice that people have connected with. So when you can look at yourself, can you be proud and tell yourself that I have grown and I have done some good stuff with my channel?
Absolutely. Every day I'm proud of where I'm at, even though everybody has expectations, obviously, with their channels. Whenever we expect things or have high expectations for our channel, sometimes we're not as happy as we should be. Like, you should always be proud of what you have, because think of those channels that have no subscribers or like 5 subscribers. But hey, people with 5 subscribers are appreciative that 5 people are subscribed to their channel, and people do view their channels. Like, it's something I've grown to appreciate whenever I started doing YouTube. I'm always thankful that people even watch my videos, because that was one of my worries starting. Like, who's going to want to hear me talk about movies? I sound really boring. And that's something that I've appreciated as I kept doing YouTube. I'm just always thankful that people are watching my videos in the first place and commenting. People are commenting on my videos. Like, this is awesome. Like, I've built a community of people and friends. I've made so many friends doing this platform than I ever thought. I met like Jay Vader, Zach Pope, Sean Chandler, all these really well-known YouTubers, and they're my friends now through this platform. And it's just, they've always given me advice. I've always given them advice just about confidence, and the confidence is really there with my channel. I'm always appreciative of the people who comment on my videos, who like my videos, who share my videos, subscribe, anybody who does that. I'm always appreciative of what I have.
That's what a lot of us should be doing with ourselves, because sometimes we can get a big head, and sometimes people can get, their heads too close to the sun when they feel that their channel's growing a little fast, and then they feel like, I'm the next big thing out there and y'all below me. But, that says a lot about you, Ryan, that you never look at yourself bigger than now. You always, you always cut yourself level-headed. And no wonder a lot of people respect you, and they grow in the community you have, trust you, and they enjoy who you are. But with that said, and every content creator can relate to this, even with the success you've had, I know, and you brought it up too, how there's always more you would want, more than the gain. It's not you being selfish. It's that you have expectations for yourself and where you see your channel can grow to. So with that, when the negative sometimes creeps in your mind, how do you keep yourself level-headed? How do you not let yourself fall into the pits of doubt and just saying that my channel will never grow?
That's a great question, man. I've had those feelings before. Every YouTuber has had those feelings before. Doubting yourself constantly, over criticizing yourself, because that's definitely a huge lesson I've learned in life. You're your most hardest critic. Like every time you criticize yourself too much. Like you could do this better, you can do that better, you can say this better. Like I've had those doubts for sure. I've had those, thoughts in my head, like I'm not where I'm at. Like, why am I not where I'm at? Why aren't people doing this? Like, and then I just had great support from my family members. My brother Cody is one of my biggest helpers. He edits all my videos, and he definitely supports me doing the YouTube thing. He just gives me great lessons. Like, always appreciate what you have. You may not be at where you're at, but at least be thankful for what you have. Keep growing, keep getting better, keep doing this, keep communicating with people, because that's going to get you far. And that definitely has got me far. My parents have also been very supportive of me, giving me really good advice, and just all this conversation I've had with people, I'm always just appreciative I have the support from those people. And I've been able to learn that it's not always the best to be too negative about yourself, because there's always something great that you're doing.
That's really true, Ryan. And it says a lot too how much you always bring up your brother Cody. I've seen you bring him up on your channel a lot. I even seen the young brother sing, and man, that boy got pipes. Okay, that boy can go. I ain't mad at him right now. But that it does mean so much how the connection you two have with each other, and how much he can lift you up when sometimes you can't pick yourself. It shows how much you respect him and how much you love him.
Absolutely. Cody has been with me doing this channel since the start in 2016, just editing my videos, but he's so much more than just the editor of my videos. Obviously, we started my game show, Rotten or Fresh, together. He was my co-host, and we just wrote the episodes down together because we came up with it together, and we really love doing that together. And Cody has just been really supportive of me, and also best friends with everybody in the community. Everyone loves Cody, and just he's a part of the community as well. And it's just great that I have a brother figure that is a part of my channel, and just I could talk movies with as well, and just do things together with him, because there are those people that don't have a brother figure or a family figure that has that support like that. And so I am very thankful of that I have a brother who loves me and supports me and is always willing to do anything for me and my channel and myself.
And I remember when you brought up that, you said that Cody helped ease you into believing that you should start your YouTube channel, the do film reviews,
Mm-hmm.
And that means a lot. Again, he believes in your ability. He believes that you can do whatever you put your mind to. When you see that from him about what he thinks about you, what does that make you feel?
It makes me feel something special, that he cares that much about me and my future, and that he really believes in me, that I can do this if I put my mind to it, like you said. And from the start, he has always been there for me and my channel, and just has seen my growth, and has always, supported me and just helped me through all the bad times and all the good times. We've been there for each other from the start. We've always had our discussions and all that, but it's just great to have someone like that in my life that is willing to take the time out of his day to edit my videos, as well as help me out and grow, and just also connect with people too.
And look, just like any other sibling, because I got my own, look, we won't joke on each other. We're going to butt heads a bit, but deep down we love each other. And that's what siblings are about,
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine that, you said how Cody helps you with your videos, he edits your videos, but he's more than that, so I can imagine the times when you two butt heads, at times, some things that you disagree with each other at times.
Yeah,
and that's normal.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, like, for everyone who sees the magic of what you guys have done, of course that, not everything is perfect before they see the finished product.
Yes, absolutely. We do have our disagreements from time to time, but like you said, we always have a great understanding and love for each other no matter what happens. And we always come to an agreement together, and that it's my channel, and we always, make it up at the end whenever we do have a little argument of sorts. But that's part of life, that's part of siblings, like you said. Siblings do fight. And it's just, we always had that love for each other no matter what, and always he's willing to help me no matter what with my channel whenever we do have a little disagreement.
I'm speaking with Ryan O'Toole. If you guys are interested in his channel, you want to see his reviews, please go on his YouTube channel, Ryan O'Toole. And if you love hearing what he's speaking, but you want to see him speak even more, you should listen to his own podcast, Falling for Film, with his co-host, Holland Williams. I guarantee you guys, you won't be disappointed. That's Falling for Film podcast. Now, Ryan, and again, I want to thank you for giving me your time so far, man. I think we've been having a good time with each other. This has been great.
Yes, this has been an awesome time, man.
and if you allow me to get a little bit more frank with you, as you know, with anybody who has a channel, there are the ups and the downs of the channel. And I wanted to speak more about that because as somebody who, as your fans will look at you and they see whether you love the movie, whether you dislike the movie, they'll know that, you're still having a good time making the video. But can you go in depth of the times when the channels, struggled, with the YouTube algorithm, with things just not clicking fully well? Can you give your fans more of an idea of the process of the negative of that you've dealt with?
Yes, everyone's best friend is the YouTube algorithm. I can tell you that. The algorithm is definitely a true villain at times, but it can also be your friend. If you have an idea, just keep rolling with it. And with the algorithm, whenever your videos do get, really good views, really good recognition, the algorithm not just comes with views. It just comes with people, seeing your videos, liking them, commenting on them, subscribing to your channel. Pretty much everything. It's part of my open, and I say every time in my videos, hit that like and subscribe button. Everybody says that. But I just started to learn more about the algorithm whenever I started to really take YouTube seriously. And when I was starting out, I didn't know what the algorithm was. I'm like, what the heck was that? And so
no one knew.
No one knew. Cody told me, it's the views, Ryan. It's the likes, the comments, and everything. You got to add that to your videos. You got to get people to hit that like button, subscribe button. And so when I really saw how the algorithm works, I started to do things, that I really enjoy talking about. And the things, that do get the views and stuff. I started to experiment, doing ranking videos, the MCU rankings and stuff, the popular things is pretty much is what's going to get those views, those clicks. But whenever I start to experiment on things like classic movie reviews and stuff like that, it doesn't get the views like those ranking videos or trailer reactions. And that's just the truth about YouTube and the algorithm in general. But when I started doing Rotten or Fresh, that was an original idea, original game show. There's so many movie trivia shows like the Schmodown, but I just made a movie trivia show about Rotten Tomato scores, and it skyrocketed. It grew a great fan base. People were watching, commenting, and stuff like that. I was definitely surprised and very happy with the outcome of Rotten or Fresh. But obviously, we had to end the show for personal reasons, obviously, but it was just fun testing out things that being creative, it's definitely being creative. It's really hard to come up with original stuff nowadays, but I think testing out the algorithm and seeing what works for your channel, doesn't work for your channel, you do the things that work, keep rolling with it. But the things that aren't working, you don't do anymore, don't do as much.
Does that ever frustrate you when you see the work you put into your videos and it doesn't get the views, or not even the views, but it doesn't get the results that you would like to get? Has that ever really made you just dang it, come on, I really worked hard in this one, and this one just didn't get as much as this one here that everyone else can put out easily?
Yeah, I've definitely had that feeling before. Whenever I do videos I put so much work into in the past, like many movie reviews and many of the MCU series of reviews I do. They get a good amount of views, but not the views I was looking for, because it's Marvel and stuff like that. It has a huge fan base. There were times I was like, oh, come on, I put so much work into this series. It's not where I wanted it to be. But then I kept going on with it, and then I just grown the sense that I'm always appreciative that people do watch my videos. Like, you get 100 views on one video, that may not be a lot to you, but hey, 100 is better than 0 views. That is true. Yeah, 100 people clicked on that video and watched it. And that's another thing. Watch time is huge for your channel as part of the algorithm. I'm just mind blown that people watch a 2-hour-long video of mine. I have some really passionate fans that do watch a 2-hour video of mine. I'm like, you have the time to do that? That is awesome. But but it's just always great, that I have a great community of people that do watch my videos, and that's something I've grown to appreciate. Sorry.
So now look, we're in 2020, and look, you started this journey for yourself back in 2015. It's been a long time,
Yes.
So, but now when you're just sitting back and looking at everything, do you have any regrets? Do you have anything that you wish you would have done earlier, or do you fully wish you never started this YouTube journey at all?
Oh, man, that's a really great question. I can't even believe that I've been doing this for like 5 years, pretty much. But ever since I started YouTube, I had those confidence issues of, I'm not going to be able to do this 5 years from now. I've had those feelings for sure. But the more I've grown to love doing this platform, the more I love movies, the more I've really taken this seriously, and that passion just flew inside me. Like, I've just been really happy doing this throughout all these 5 years. I've had my ups and downs, but I've always remained positive. I've had great support from my family, friends, and subscribers, and friends on YouTube and stuff like that. I really don't have much regrets at all, pretty much. I've always been appreciative for what I've done. Maybe there were some things I wish I could have done earlier on, but I'm just appreciative of the fact of even where I'm at today with the amount of subscribers that I have, 2,300,000 subscribers. I'm really appreciative of that number. That is a lot of subscribers. That
ain't bad at all, man. Come on now.
That is not bad.
You better pat yourself on the back. Come on now.
Yeah, that may be not a lot to some people, but that's a lot. That is a lot of subscribers. And so I'm just really appreciative that I'm even doing this, because if I hadn't seen Captain America: The Winter Soldier in theaters, I probably would not have been here right now.
Man, think about that. Thank you, Cap. My goodness.
Captain America, the true hero.
So with that kid that you said, as you were, the shy kid who couldn't stare at a camera straight, who doubted himself so much and was probably nervous whenever he finished recording a video and just looking around like, oh my gosh, will anybody watch me? Till now, can you see the full circle of like how much you have evolved from that?
Absolutely. The fact that I've grown from that is like impressive. I have had those days where I stop recording, I'm sweating like, thank God I'm done with that review. and now I'm just been able to turn the camera off. I kind of miss talking, and I'm just mind blown that I've grown to that. And it's because of doing this for 5 years that I've grown this love for it. Like, it feels like I'm just talking in real life now, and it's been so much fun doing this platform. I'm happy YouTube came along the way.
No doubt about that, man. And now look, this has been the first 5 years, but let's look through the other road into the future for your channel, for yourself. As you said, you look into yourself being a film reviewer and a film critic. Where does Ryan see himself down the road? What is your goal for you and this channel?
The goal is just constantly, growing every single day and trying new things along the way. Pretty much just do the things I love doing, and eventually just growing my channel to be able to get to the point of hopefully working full time, because that would be a dream come true, because that's the ultimate goal of mine,
Of
is
course.
working full time of YouTube. That'd be awesome. I don't have my own boss. I'm my own boss, and that would just be awesome.
Who wouldn't
And
love that?
absolutely. And definitely an ultimate goal of mine is to become a Rotten or Fresh critic, not Rotten or Fresh, Rotten Tomato certified critic. That would definitely be an ultimate goal of mine, and just talk movies throughout any platform. Branch myself, move out to the West Coast, meet my pal Zach Griffin and all that. That's definitely a good goal of mine. Meet all the people that I have done YouTube. Pretty much just meet all of them, meet other people that do the same thing that I do, and just talk about movies. That's what I do, but I'm not in person with these people. Like, that's where I hope to see myself in 5 years, 10 years in the future. Just, I will always be talking about movies till I die. Just hopefully I, do these things. But the fact that I am doing this YouTube platform still, that makes me happy.
Now, would you say, look, and as we all have our own goals and dreams, for the future as we grow more as people, but also too, sometimes in any way, life throws us curveballs, and life likes to, sometimes change our directions or just throw roadblocks at us to tear us down fully. So for yourself, Ryan, as you said, your dream is to do this full time. You want to move West Coast. You want to see your film bros. You want to just do this forever. But have you ever thought of, God forbid, it doesn't happen? What if this fruition doesn't come to be? Did you ever think to yourself, what is a backup if this dream doesn't come true?
Absolutely. It's always great to have backup options in life, for sure. I love talking about movies, pretty much. That's why I do YouTube. And I've always had that feeling, for sure, of having a roadblock set in stone. If this does not happen, but still keep doing it anyway, regardless. And I will never stop talking about movies, for sure. But it's that I will keep working day in and day out to make sure I am still talking about movies to this day, and eventually grow my way up into full time. That would be awesome. But it's always great to have a backup in store, like you said. And if those downs do happen, always know that the ups are going to overcome. And if you stay positive, you will eventually make it.
Yeah, man, look, that's true, man. You can't. A dream it's always will be a dream, but no one can tell us that we can't stop chasing it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And now, Ryan, as we get close to the end, let's talk about this podcast of yours, Falling for Film Podcast. It's a brand new podcast that you dropped with Mr. Colin Williams. For more info about it, let's just tell the fans, describe more of the world of this film podcast.
Absolutely. The Fallen for Film podcast was started up by me. One of my goals this year was to start up a podcast because I love talking about movies, but I wanted to talk about things that I've never really talked about on my channel, which is the newest movie news and stuff. That seems like a lot of fun. All my friends do podcasts, Sean and Griffin, Zach and Ren, they do podcasts, and I watch their podcasts, and I wanted to start a podcast on my own. And so I was looking for co-hosts. I wanted to look for somebody, that has the same love for film as me. And I found Colin Williams, and he's a fantastic movie reviewer. He's an up-and-coming reviewer in the YouTube space. He's got great reviews over there. And I reached out to him saying, I want to start this podcast with you. And he said, absolutely. And so last month, we started the Fallen for Film podcast, and we've been doing episodes every single week. We've been recording every Saturday, and the episodes go up every Monday morning. And it's just been a blast doing it. And we're branching ourselves out, having guests every single time, whenever we can, and just talking about the newest movie news that comes out, as well as doing other fun stuff. Instead of movie news, we also do top 5 lists. We do games with guests. We also do underrated and overrated movie picks of the week, as well as movie quotes of the week. We pick little topics and things we do every single week, as well as answering fan questions as well. We want to hear from the fans, answer their questions, and it's just a blast doing it. And we're loving the podcast. The podcast has been on fire. People are loving it. And we have it on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, different podcast platforms for you guys to go listen and check it out. We would love the support, guys. And it's just been a blast doing it. I'm finally happy I'm in the podcast platform, because that was what I wanted to do this year.
And, you know, starting a podcast is never easy, you know, especially when you have a co-host, and especially with a co-host that I'm going to guess that, you know, you don't know from Mike from Adam. You know, so it's really one of those things you got to be so careful when you look for people to trust. So how were you and Colin able to trust each other to have this podcast come together?
Absolutely. I met Colin Williams this year. You know, it's
Just
a guy
this year?
I just met just this year. Yeah, we met this year, and he seemed like a really awesome guy, and just we've gotten to know each other. We've communicate with each other every single day through text message, and we talk every day pretty much through Skype every single week. And I absolutely trust him 100%. He absolutely trusts me 100%. This isn't a one-man show. I always allow him to speak his opinion, obviously, on things, and he gives his opinion on stuff. Whether he has this idea, I have this idea, and then we come to an ultimate agreement. And that's what podcasts should be. It shouldn't be a one-man show. And the fact that seeing podcasts out there with people that respect each other, get along with each other, and just have a total two-man show. And that's what I wanted this podcast to be. I wanted to find a co-host that we have a mutual understanding, we get along perfectly, have great chemistry, because that's what a great podcast is, as well as come up with ideas with each other and not just me taking over the whole thing. And Colin's been an amazing friend, amazing host, and we're getting the ball rolling on this podcast, and it's been great so far.
And look, there is no better time for, like you said, to do your podcast, because we're all locked up in the house anyway. So and we're all bored. So look, if you guys are willing to drop something for us to listen to, who are we to say no to that? You know?
Exactly. Yep.
I'm talking with Ryan O'Toole, and Ryan, this has been great. I've appreciated everything that you speaking me with. I felt that we've really gotten to some great topics, and I've appreciated you being so open about everything that you have gone through so far in your life and everything that you've grown through YouTube and as a film reviewer.
Well, thank you so much, man, for having me. This was an absolute blast, and I was just finally happy I was able to talk with you today.
I hope it was worth the wait. I hope after everything that we went through, it was worth all the time.
I was worried this was going to happen again, but now it's finally happened.
Same.
This was totally worth the wait.
Now, before we close this chapter on this story, what I love to do whenever I speak with people, I call this the praise hour. I say that because this is when we give the thanks and the praise to the people who have had our back, the people who have picked us up when we can't walk no further, that to show them that we couldn't be here without you. So the floor is yours, Ryan. I want you to give the love to those who you care about right now.
Okay. I'm always loving my family. I would not be here today if it wasn't for my family. My brother Cody, like I said, he was the one who got me to do YouTube in the first place because he believed in me. He believed in what I was doing, and he has been there with me at my back, edited my videos, been my brother and stuff since the start. So I love my brother to death, and he's one. My mother as well, who has been there with me since the start of growing up, and always supporting me in whatever I do and loving me in whatever I do in life, whether it was music or movies. She's always been there for me. My stepdad as well has always been there for me as well. He also has a love for comic book movies and stuff. We've talked about that and movies in general. So he has always been there for me. My stepsisters, who I love too. My friends outside of YouTube, any one of my friends who's been there for me. My YouTube buddies as well, everybody that I mentioned and pretty much who I've been interactive with, I've always loved them. Other family as well, cousins and stuff like that know I've been on YouTube. Co-workers as well that have really supported me as well whenever I told them I did YouTube. just I'm always very much thankful for anybody that has been in contact with me, with my channel, and me as a person as well. They have definitely made me where I'm at today.
Man, now that was showing some love right there. Ooh, I love that. I love that fully. And before I let you go, Ryan, before I let you go fully, if anyone who's thinking about being a film critic and trying to start their own YouTube channel, and knowing that we're all locked up in the house, we got nothing to do, and they've always said, I'll start a YouTube channel. Oh, I'll do one eventually. I really want to do one. Mm-hmm. What will you say to them right now that they have the opportunity?
Do it. Do it because you want to do it. That's the best advice I can give you. Do it because you want to do it. Do it because you love this. You love talking about movies. Do it because you want to do it. Don't let anybody say you can't do this, because you can do it. Put your mind to it and it'll be great. And I get this question all the time, and it makes my day whenever someone comments that you inspired me to start a YouTube channel. Do you have any advice for me? The best advice that I could give you is do it because you love it. Be passionate about it and have fun with it. That is the most important thing. Have fun doing it, because if you're not having fun, then what's the point of doing it? And always have people around you to support you. You know, have your family be there for you. Have your friends as well. Make friends throughout the platform. That is a big thing I've noticed that has really helped my channel grow. Growing a community of people, meeting new people, reaching out to new people as well, and collab with people as well. Collaborations is definitely huge. Find someone who's in the same subscriber base as you and collaborate together. Grow your channels together. That is definitely a very huge piece of advice I can give you if you're starting a YouTube channel. And another thing, if you don't have the best production quality, don't worry about that. Have something. At least you have something. If you have a phone, use it. If you don't have a mic, just speak with your own voice. Make sure people can hear you and all of that. Just the most important thing is, if you want to start a YouTube channel, go for it. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do this, you're not going to make it. Just do it. Shia LaBeouf.
You heard it from the man himself, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ronald E. Smith. This is Ryan O'Toole. And y'all, I think we just got real. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you again.